Welcome to the third video for Seasonal Support Qigong for our autumn series. Again, this will be supporting our metal element in Chinese medicine as well as our lungs and our large intestines. So we begin in just our basic stance. If this is your first video, it's just having your legs hip width apart and feet facing forward, keeping our shoulders away from the ears, so bringing them down so they're nice and relaxed, head facing forward, arms a little bit out from their sides as if we're holding an egg under each armpit, and we're keeping our fingers and wrists nice and strong, fingers together facing down, and keeping the hip area nice and open. It's a lot to remember, I know. The more you practice, the easier it does get. We're just starting out, bringing our arms out to the sides. It's a nice time just to bring ourselves into our body and slow our minds down. We've been rushing to come. We're just drawing all the energy that's around ourselves and bringing it in to ourselves. And bringing it back down the midline, down to our hara, or our lower dantian, which sits just below the belly button, again where we hold all our personal power. It's nice to keep this area nice and energized. Gives us more energy, self-empowerment. And back to basic stance. So now we're going to start with form 1, which is our arm swing. So arms out in front at shoulder height, nice and straight, fingers and wrists nice and strong. And we're just swinging them back behind the body, keeping them straight and just back up to the shoulder height. Once you feel like you've got the hang of this, you can just add in the knees. So just bending at the knees slightly and coming back up. So you can almost imagine what it would feel like to be on a swing when you're swinging as a child. If you're finding it too difficult to do the knees as well as the arms, it's perfectly fine just to swing the arms. And just feel into the body. Where are you feeling resistance or tension? Or does it just feel good? And just slowing the arms down until they come back to the sides. Back to basic stance. Our next form is called Chi Scatter. So we're just going to, again, start in our basic stance, and we're going to bring one arm across the body, diagonally across the body, while the other one goes behind the body at the same time. The one at the front, palm will be up, so it's almost like we're throwing something to somebody next to us. Maybe we're sharing the energy. We've got so much now, we can share it to the person next door. I'll turn around just so you can see. We're twisting at the waist, and our gaze is following the palm at the front. So the arm that's crossing at the front, we're following that hand. And again, we're bringing in a slight dip of the knees. So as the arms come down, you can bend at the knees a little and then come back up. Trying just to keep twisting at the torso only. So looking at the hand in front. And back down to basic stance. Okay, our third form is called opening the golden envelope. So we're just starting with holding the belly, or woo. And this is where our hands are just out in front of us. So it's imagining we've got a really big belly and we're just supporting that. So it might be like you've got a big pregnant tummy and you're just supporting the bottom of that belly. So it's holding the belly, or woo jing. We're just bringing the hands up slowly and shining our palms in at the chest. Again, not on the body, just out from the chest. Palms facing in. This is where we stop and take a nice breath. Really supporting the lungs. And then we bend forward slightly and we're making a scooping motion forward and down. Bringing the hands back up through the center, all the way up and then shining our palms at our ears, just on the outside of our ears, squeezing the shoulder blades and bringing the elbows back. We're bringing the hands up above us, shoulder width apart, palms facing in, looking up. Rotating at the wrist, and then we bring our arms back down as we look forward again. Back to the Wujing or holding the belly. Shining at the lungs. Scooping forward. Up the midline. Fingers are almost touching. Keeping the fingers nice and strong. Palms facing towards the ears. Shining into the ears. Bringing the shoulder blades together. Looking up. Rotating at the wrists. And back down. It's a beautiful one, this one. This one really supports the lungs and large intestines and our metal element. Energizing the lungs. Okay, our next form is called a chin circle. So here we start with holding our hands behind our back. So wherever it's more comfortable, whether it's holding your forearms, holding your wrists or your hands, just holding them nice at the back. The idea is to bring the shoulders down. We're just going to start in the basic stance again, but this time with our arms at the back. So, but our legs are still hip width apart, feet facing forward. And we're just going to bring our ear to the same shoulder, so just gently down, nice and slow, because you might feel a nice stretch across here. If you're a little bit tight, just go as far down as it feels comfortable. Then we're just going to be bringing our chin down, and we're just making circles with our chin. It's like we've got a crayon on our chin and we're drawing a circle. Then we go in both directions, going back the other way. This one feels really nice. It's a really slow movement. We don't want to rush when we're stretching the neck. Many of us hold tension in our necks and shoulder area. Again, feeling what comes up for you while you're doing this. How does it feel? You need to close your eyes to feel into it. Can you feel the energy? Can you feel blockages? Any emotions coming up? Resistance. When your chin gets to the chest, just slowly bring it back up and bring ourselves back to the basic stance. Okay, another form. It's back in our basic stance again, and it's called reeling silk. It's a really lovely one. So we're going to bring one arm just gently out in front of us. And with the opposite hand, we're just going to rest it lightly on our wrist. The arm that we've got out in front, we're going to just slowly rotate at the wrist. We're just slowly rotating that hand around. This hand that was resting on top, it's just resting really lightly, and it's just feeling that movement. So it almost looks like it's going around. I'm not moving this around. All I'm doing is feeling the joint moving. It's just getting us in touch with feeling the movement and feeling the joints. Our bodies are incredible. They move all day long without us even realizing what they're doing and how much work they're putting in. We're just going the opposite way now. And then we swap. So we put the opposite arm out. We just bring our hand over our wrist. Sorry, that was my neighbour. And we're just rotating that wrist. Just rotating it nicely, really feeling into that joint. And the opposite way. Again, just going around feeling that movement and that flow. Then we're going to hold the elbow, and we're going to do the same with the elbow. So just rotating the arm, the forearm, and just feeling that joint around the elbow. And then we go the opposite way. And then the other arm. We do one side, we always do the other. That's it. And back the other way. It's a really nice one to slow us down and make us more present and just feel into the body. Now we're going to place our hands gently on our shoulders, and we're just going to rotate around forward. Bring those elbows out and around, feeling that stretch, giving us a really nice stretch across the chest as we come back, and then we're going back the other way. And then hands will be gently placed on the hips, and we're just going to draw circles with the pelvis and hips. So nice big circle. If you need to bend the knees slightly, please do. Trying to keep the feet facing forward if you can. And just go at your own pace. You don't need to go as fast or as slow as myself, just whatever feels natural to you. And back the opposite way. Like we're in a hula hoop in slow motion. Now we're going to hold the knees just gently over the top of the kneecaps, and we're just twisting. And I say twisting, actually, we're not. We're making circles with the knees. Nice, gentle circles. If you've got knee injuries or existing injuries around the ankle area and it doesn't feel good, you don't have to do this. You can go back to the hips or even the shoulders, and just the opposite way. Just take it nice and slowly. And then we just drop the head and we roll slowly back up, back to the basic stance. And now we're just going to end by closing the gates. And just see and feel the difference. Does it feel any different than when you were opening them at the start? How does the body feel? Do you need to close your eyes? What can you feel? Really drawing in that energy, bringing it down through the central meridian, right down through the center of the body and into the hara point, and back to the basic stance.